Okay, so you're making a video and you want to record your screen and your camera at the same time. If you want to record one video file with both your screen and your webcam on the same screen, that's fairly simple, and I'll show you how to do that too. But if you want to record your screen and your webcam on your computer, but have separate files so you could edit them later, then it's not as straightforward. In this video, we're going to find out exactly how to record both sources separately. Welcome to Entrepreneur's Toolbox. I'm Jonathan and I'm here to help you find the tools to build income online. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so make sure that you subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified when new videos go live. So why would you even want to do this? Well, if you're like me, you may want to jump back and forth between cutaways, picture-in-picture, and screen captures. Now you're going to need to install 2 free programs on your computer. And again, don't worry, they are completely free. You never guess it was because they are such powerful softwares. The first one is called OBS, or Open Broadcast Software. I'll get to the second software you'll need in just a moment. I don't typically record my videos myself on my computer's camera because it only has a 720p camera, and I prefer to record at least at 1080p. I use a separate camera for my videos. But if I got an external camera with a higher resolution that plugs into my computer, I'd probably switch to this method. So this is OBS. It's a free software. I'll put a link to it in my description. I already have one set up. I have just my USB mic as well as my screen that I want to capture. But I'm going to show you from scratch exactly how to set this part up. So you're going to want to create a new scene within OBS. All you need to do is go to this bottom left corner, click the little plus symbol. I'm just going to call it a temp because I already have one. But this is my temp. So then you have to go over to the little plus under sources. Click plus, and then audio input. So I already have 3, so I'm just gonna add the existing one. If you haven't created one, you just hit create new, and you'll be able to find any audio device that's hooked up to the computer, either built in or external USB mic. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click USB mic because that's what I'm currently talking on, and that's what I typically record my audio on. So hit OK. So now we have the audio here, and it's visible. You could also lock these so they don't get messed up. And then the next thing you're gonna want is get your screen. So again, you're gonna wanna hit the plus and just go to display capture. So just select your source. If you already have one, just hit, I'm gonna add existing since I already have one. Otherwise, you'll just need to create a new one and it will show whatever sources you have for your displays. If you have one, it will just show one. If you have multiple displays, it should show multiple displays. So I'm just gonna click display capture and hit OK. Now I have these 2 displays. If the display is stretched, and I've seen this a couple times before, just right click on the display and then just go to resize output to source, and it will resize this image to the source image, so it will show the whole entire screen. And that's really all the setup that you need with OBS. One other thing to consider is that OBS also streams, so you might need to go to the settings and just go to output and decide on these different settings. If you want your bit rate, you mess around with your audio for streaming and everything like that. But if you don't, just decide where you want it to save. And then the biggest thing I'd say is decide your file format that you want it to save into. By default, it's MKV. But if you want it to go into Final Cut or Premiere or whatever software you're using, iMovie or Windows Movie Maker, whatever it's going to take, just make sure that it's a file format that software will take. Otherwise, you'll have a bunch of headaches down the road. I just typically use MP4 or MOV because I use a Mac. If you get value out of these videos, make sure that you like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell so you get notified every time that I upload a new video. Okay, so now we have our screen and audio set up to record on OBS. We need to get our software to record our camera now. That software is called Screencast-O-Matic. It does have a paid level, but we can get everything we need from the free version. Okay, so this is Screencast-O-Matic. As you can see, they do have a paid version. You don't need it. You can just create a free account, and there's a few limitations, like you can't make a video over 15 minutes long. But if your video goes over 15 minutes and you're planning on editing it anyways, there is really no reason that you can't just record 2 15-minute clips and be done with it. Another thing is that it adds a little watermark in the bottom left-hand corner, and if that's the case, you could always just frame your frame just a little bit larger and then stretch your image. You will lose a little bit of quality of your image that way, but just wanted to give you a little bit of heads up on those 2 little things that you'll need to do to make it work on the free version. If you don't want to do that, As you can see, it's really not that expensive, $1.65 a month if you pay for like, it's not much, but it's up to you. So all you need to do is you install the product. You just go to the products and install the screen recorder here. They'll have you install some software on your computer. Once you download the software, just install it, and then you'll be able to go to your back panel, and it will add this little tiny link that says Launch Recorder. But just hit Launch Recorder, allow it to open. So it'll bring up this little box. You have 3 options on this one. You can just do your screen, which you just adjust how much of the screen you want recorded, or you can do both, which you'll see when I click this. It brings up this. This is actually my webcam. It's only 720p, and that's part of the reason why I use a separate camera. But if I had an external one, it would work just great because there's no limitations on what kind of camera you could use. So as you can see right here, they have the 15-minute time duration maximum, but you could just record 2 videos if your video goes longer than 15 minutes. Fine, if you want to set your audio, I believe by default it goes to your computer's audio, but then you could also switch it to an external microphone or however you need to do it. But if you're recording your video through OBS, how we were showing before, you could record your audio through there and you wouldn't even need to worry about it here, and you can sync it up in post. Okay, so what we were talking about is the webcam. So I just want to record myself while OBS is recording my screen. So I'm just going to click webcam, and then right here in the bottom left-hand corner, I just hit record. It's going to start recording. There we go. And you're like, hey, how's it going? I'm Jonathan. Wave my arms in this example video. So I just hit pause when I'm ready, when I'm happy with my recording, and then it will give me options, and all what I really need to do is hit done. When I get to done, I could either save or upload. Save, I just be able to save it to my computer. Upload would basically put it on, like in the 𝐓𝐶REAMcast-O-matic back office or whatever you want to call it. And then quick share just creates a link. And then edit video, you can just make minor tweaks like blur things, zoom into certain parts, and you can do that with all within 𝐓𝐶REAMcast-O-matic. Which, if it's you might be able to even avoid the whole editing software if you chose to use this as like your picture-in-picture version. If you're trying to do something and cut out a lot of the editing, it might help you. But if you're like me, I like to tweak and edit in minor little things, so I prefer to edit, but some people don't. So when you're done, you just hit save. There we go. And I'm not gonna save it to there because you also upload it to YouTube. Sorry about that one. But there you go, I'm just gonna save it. I'm gonna just throw it on my desktop, and then once that's saved, I should because I'm recording on OBS right now, I should be able to take that and just take the audio that was recorded from this and the audio from OBS and line them up perfectly, and I'll be able to have a picture-in-picture where I'll be able to jump back from full screen of my face to full screen of my screen, or I could do picture-in-picture, and they're not all embedded or burned into one image. All right, so now we've set up both screen capturing softwares, but there is a weird order you need to do everything in order to get it to work correctly. So please don't skip a step because every step is very important. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you this. I've already clicked start recording for OBS because I had to in order to get my screen capture to show you this. But just keep in mind that the first thing you'll have to do is hit start recording on OBS. You've already had everything set up that I talked about earlier, and just hit start recording. And as you can see, it's already started a recording onto my desktop, and that's gonna be the file. So then the second thing you're gonna need to do is go back to 𝐓𝐶REAMcast-O-matic and then set up 𝐓𝐶REAMcast-O-matic and go through the whole process of getting that recording of your camera started second. So do OBS first, and then go and do 𝐓𝐶REAMcast-O-matic second, get that going, and then what you'll do is once 𝐓𝐶REAMcast-O-matic is recording, you'll do your whole entire thing, whatever you want, record both of them, and you could throw 𝐓𝐶REAMcast-O-matic in the background because you don't need to necessarily see your face, and you could just go to your screen. If you happen to bring your live image up on the screen while you're recording, it's obviously going to show on your screen capture is going to show it, so make sure that that's on like a different tab or hidden. So just finish up with 𝐓𝐶REAMcast-O-matic, then go back to OBS, and then you will stop the recording here. So start the recording with OBS, then go to 𝐓𝐶REAMcast-O-matic, do the whole thing beginning to end, and then go back to OBS and stop the recording there. So, because if you do it in any other order, I tried it and for some reason it just stops. So just make sure that you're doing it that way, and you'll avoid the headaches that I had to try and figure out to resolve the problem. It's really not that difficult. One thing that I would note is that you are recording 2 videos at once, so you will be using way more processing power on your computer. It may not be an issue for a lot of people, but keep it in mind. If you want to get around cropping your webcam image, you'll need to get the Screencast-O-Matic paid plan, like I mentioned before, but it works great without it. If you like this tutorial on how to film your screen and yourself at the same time, make sure to check out my tutorials and how-tos playlist. I'll put a link to it in the description as well as the end card. So are you going to film your screen and yourself at the same time? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.